Hello ladies and gents, welcome to CG Reacts, and this is Iran screams we can't lose. Then Trump presses the button. What button? This is, I'm guessing, Max Afterburner style channel, Cash Jordan. I can't really find much information nowadays. I try to search it. I don't know if it's regional locked or what, even though I do have VPN. But yeah, this is the best video I could find for the most up-to-date information, aside from obviously news channels, which I don't know if I trust or not. So I rather watch for videos like this. So yeah, let's watch this one.
Iran's negotiators have a problem. Listen to this.
Iran may ramp up its aggression as we get closer to the midterms. While President Trump insists the U.S. blockade on the strait is holding.
Yeah, hey, Brian, good morning. With no diplomatic breakthrough, tension remains high across the Middle East. There are still major questions about the Strait of Hormuz and if a deal can be reached to open this critical waterway.
I don't think so.
The Persian Gulf Strait Authority, an Iranian government agency, said Wednesday claims and repeated posts by U.S. officials that the
claims and repeated posts by U.S. officials that the Strait of Hormuz is no longer blocked do not change the reality. The Strait of Hormuz remains. I mean, this is not true, really. Literally an hour ago, UAE basically blamed Iran of attacking ships with drones. So I don't know what open means. If Iran is still attacking, it's not really open, is it?
The Strait of Hormuz is no longer blocked do not change the reality. The Strait of Hormuz remains blocked and will not be reopened until Iran's conditions are accepted. This came after President Trump posted yesterday on Truth Social saying in part the USA has total control over the Strait of Hormuz. Our naval blockade is being called by everyone a wall of steel, and there is nothing Iran can do about it.
Again, people are confusing this tweet, truth or whatever he calls it. It's his social media. He's saying he controls the flow of Strait of Hormuz because of the blockade. Not that control as in like anyone can come and go. Like Iran's not going to attack. That's not what he's saying. Look at the end of that, right? Our naval blockade is being called by a wall of steel. So we control by blockade who can come and go. That doesn't mean somebody's not going to get attacked. It's just USA can dictate what's going to come in and go out.
Still, less than 10% of the average number of pre-war vessels are passing through the strait, as some analysts warn of possible escalation before a solution is found.
But that's just what we know about. What did we hear from the president just a few weeks ago? There was a secret operation happening where ships were being guided out with their transponders off, and nobody knew about it. We don't know how many ships are going out, and Iran is losing its grip on Hormuz, and its leverage is going out the window. Listen.
As I say that, 1 hour ago, Iran's top joint military command says no vessel can go through the strait without Iran's permission. You write in the Post, Tehran is losing its grip on Hormuz, and with it, all its leverage.
Well, obviously, Khomeini, his whole plan was to build nuclear weapons, right? And then at that point, he holds the Strait of Hormuz hostage, the Middle East hostage, the world hostage. The president, the Israelis, they took that away from him last year during Midnight Hammer. Power over the world, no nuclear weapons, no missile breakout. We see the Emiratis, the Saudis building new pipeline infrastructure.
It's over as far as leverage that Iran has the ability to use against the rest of the world and against the United States. And as you just heard,
I mean, not completely over, but this is real, people. Even there's a talk between, I think, India and I don't know which, was it Qatar, was it Oman? I don't know which country was it. But there is even a, talks between India and another Middle Eastern country of a pipeline. Just like this. Saudi is doing a pipeline. So this is not that far-fetched, right? There's a massive pipeline going through Canada, which is famous, obviously. There was a leak, like a few years ago. That's a massive project. There's a massive pipeline going in basically Russia and everywhere because they did do that. So laying massive pipeline is not that far-fetched. And that is people are thinking now. Like, oh, this was insane. What is happening in past 6 months is insane. We can't have one of this again. What if some another war breaks out in Middle East? We can't have this. So people are making pipelines. So yeah, this Strait of Hormuz, chokehold is not going to be much of anything.
From building up missiles, threatening its neighbors, and getting a devastating weapon. Listen to this.
Thanks to the coordinated efforts of the U.S. military and our Gulf allies, the 7-day average for oil leaving the strait is currently up to almost 9 million barrels a day. When combined with the additional 5 to 7 million barrels per day leaving the region via newly upgraded pipelines and export facilities, total oil flows are currently averaging approximately 15 million barrels a day.
Yeah, it's getting out.
On Sunday alone, over 20 million barrels left the Arabian Gulf region, which is above the pre-conflict average.
Wait a minute, what? Wait a second, I need to check this. Okay, so roughly 20 to 21 million barrels of oil used to pass through Strait of Hormuz before the conflict started. So we are back at 20 million. So what chokehold? Chokehold of what? It's still passing that amount. So this shouldn't be an issue anymore.
So this whole idea that the strait is closed, this is an idea only. In principle, it's wide open. In principle, everything is getting out, just nothing that benefits Iran economically because we've got a blockade, which doesn't work for them.
Now, some of that could be a shadow fleet. Are we to believe these numbers, Rich?
100%. Where's the oil price?
We are. I have verified them. I will say that I have been briefed at the highest levels by the U.S. government. I understand where these numbers are coming from and why, if you are an analyst in the open source, you're in the energy industry, you're not seeing it. These are coming from our military. This is from NAVCENT, from our Navy Central Command. It's the watch floor. They are running an escort mission. The ships are signing up. They're talking to them and saying, here's my cargo. Here's what I'm bringing out. And the U.S. military is helping them move out of the strait. Why don't you see it? Well, you don't want the Iranians to see it.
Exactly.
So they're putting their signals off. Their AIS is being secured.
Exactly. Iran's leverage over the Strait of Hormuz has gone out the window because they don't know what's happening there. They don't know what ships are getting out. They can say, oh yeah, we don't have any record of any ships getting out.
So for now, if 20 million barrel did pass, you wouldn't be able to calculate it now if you want to do that outside of the Navy, I guess. But there'll be a day where you'll be able to piece it all together, because that oil goes somewhere. That oil will land somewhere, and there will be destination like, yeah, this passed through here, right? And I'm sure there must be some source out there who basically openly, tracks which thing came from what. So eventually you'll be able to know how many barrels pass through. So it's not like US is just gonna lie here, because it will literally take like a week or a month to debunk it, right? So if the US Navy is saying that 20 million barrels are passing through, it is.
Because those ships are not talking to them. Those ships are not telling them that they're coming in or out. They're getting protection from the U.S. military, and Iran's ability to detect what's out there in the water and to potentially attack it in some manner, that has been taken away from them. So they don't know what's going on, anything.
So we are getting oil out of the strait, plus the pipelines, plus U.S. exports. This is going our way right now.
Yeah.
It's not over. The Iranians could respond. They could escalate.
Yep.
But right now, this is looking pretty good for the president.
Yeah, they, like I said, literally an hour ago, they launched drone attacks on cargo ships, and basically UAE blamed them. I'm guessing they targeted UAE's ships and things.
They could escalate.
You make the case, and many others have done it, that the strait will be irrelevant.
Oh, here's one of the news.
The United Arab Emirates is blaming Iran for firing drones at 2 tankers operated by a state-owned oil company as they sailed through the Strait of Hormuz. The UAE said Friday that the attacks represent acts of piracy. Iran has not responded to the accusation.
So yeah, this literally happened hours ago.
That's quite an argument.
Everyone's getting away from it.
If you're right, how long before that happens?
2028.
Is it a year? Is it 2 years, or is it more?
My guess on average would be about 2 years, but I'll be surprised if we can't maybe do it even sooner, because look, the Emiratis have a brand new pipeline. They say it's already 50% complete.
Wow.
The Saudis are about to add another 2 million barrels per day coming out of their existing pipeline. They want to build more. The Iraqis want to build more. They don't have environmentalists. They don't have a trial bar. There's no EPA. They can move pretty fast in the Gulf.
Okay. Well,
here's the other thing you have to understand. Where did we get worldwide oil from a year ago? We had a lot of it coming from the Middle East. The United States is exporting some oil. But who wasn't exporting any oil? Well, that would be Venezuela. Venezuela wasn't a big player in the oil game, but now they're exporting more oil. Listen to this. They're getting over 1 million per day of oil out of Venezuela, and that is only going to increase. This is happening within the last 6 months. The revitalization of their oil export business, that's going to go up. They got the largest proven reserves in the entire world. So this idea that oil prices are up and they're going to stay up and, oh, we need some sort of green...
But I thought Venezuela's oil is like, it takes time to refine it. What is it called? Like certain type of oil? Like USA has the easily like extractable oil, something like that, right? Like Venezuela has that kind of oil, big reserve, but it's hard to refine, right?
Revolution, that couldn't be further from the truth. As time goes on, the price of oil is going to continue to drop because more of it is going to hit the market, not less. And as it does, it's all going to happen away from the Strait of Hormuz. Everyone's going to build around it. They're going to get their oil from somewhere else. You still may have countries like China. Maybe they can get oil from Iran. Maybe they will get oil out of the Strait of Hormuz, but it's going to be an irrelevant part of the world. And as it becomes irrelevant, Iran's ability to be this aggressor that threatens everybody and shuts off the world economy, I mean, that's the one asset they thought they had left to play. I don't see that existing.
I mean, they didn't shut down the economy. I mean, come on. Where I am, I'm feeling nothing. I'm pretty sure most people are feeling nothing. Enough major countries have reserves for months. So this conflict is barely felt when it comes to like oil reserves. Yeah, there are price hikes here and there, right? But that's, that's used to type of thing. Like even when Russian invasion started of Ukraine, there was like surges in prices. That's nothing new.
At all. But just before we continue, you know what's wild? My sponsor for this video, Cloaked, dared me to take my phone number and plug it into their...
Yeah, well, go to region video page link from there, support this channel.
Patriot missile batteries are being sold to our allies. These are the things that knock down incoming missiles that are fired and drones that are fired from countries like Iran. Why would the president say, okay, you guys want us to take a little break here? Well, that was to shore up defenses in these countries and make sure that they were adequately protected. And as you saw over the last few weeks, there was this tit-for-tat arrangement with Iran where they were launching attacks, and then there were US attacks, and there were some attacks.
I'm gonna say this, that goes both ways though. Iran is gonna shore up their thing as well through China and Russia.
Launched by the Gulf allies in response to all that. That's all over. We're back to where we were when we had a ceasefire, and it was Iran that called and said, hey, look, let's pause and figure this out. And here's the thing, as they pause, what happens? Countries continue building around the Strait of Hormuz. Countries continue getting away from it. Things continue ramping up in Venezuela. The blockade stays in place. So a pause doesn't help Iran as much as people that think Iran's winning would like you to believe. Listen.
Iranians still have pieces on this chessboard. You know, their navy is at the bottom of the sea. Much of their missile arsenal was taken out in U.S. and Israeli strikes during Operation Epic Fury, but they still have many of these shorter-range missiles and drones that can threaten energy infrastructure in the Gulf. And that is part of the reason you have countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE asking the president to exhaust all diplomatic opportunities before returning to combat operations. But tension again remains high across the region because at this moment, the Iranians are mocking what the Trump administration is saying about the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, they are, Trey. And General Keane also spoke last night about this is ultimately coming down to a battle of wills. And it seems that nothing has changed insofar as the IRGC.
Yeah, see, this, I don't know, binary thinking that people usually have. Like this is a UFC fight. Who won and who lost? Is it that black and white? Okay, Iran won. Won what exactly? What did they win? Right? I've said this in the past. Let's say there are 10 different approaches US can take. 10 decisions that they can make. Ranging from the best possible decision, the most badass decision that would just end the war, to like one of the worst decisions they could make stumbling every single way. In all those 10 decisions, US is still going to win. In the end of the day, US is going to come out on top. It's just like, okay, which path did you take? Was it the best path or not? Now, I don't know which path Trump is taking right now. I don't know. Like, we'll see. I guess hindsight will tell us in the future. But in the end of the day, saying Iran won because USA is 6 months still there, USA didn't achieve their objective, which is like, what you talking about? They dropped a lot of bunker busters, like all those nuclear material is like a dust there. Disabled a lot of like SAM batteries and a lot of like launchers. So Israel is not getting attacked. Which objective US didn't achieve again? I don't get it. Which ultimate victory are you talking about? You think there's going to be a day where like Trump going to come out and he's like, I won, and there's going to be like Iran there looking down and there's a referee and be like, yeah, this guy won. Is that what's going to happen? What are you talking about? So I don't understand like, oh, USA lost because USA didn't achieve their objective. Which objective are you talking about?
Because they thought they'd have the price of oil way up by now. They don't, and now they're scrambling trying to figure out what to do next.
Had to slash their crude oil extraction rate hundreds of millions of dollars each and every day. They have had to slash their crude oil extraction rate. They are decreasing their domestic exports.
Yep.
And inflation is rising rapidly inside of Iran.
Twice.
And so each and every day,
I think the currency dropped nearly half. So twice the inflation.
U.S. military pressure in the region is consistent. There are still more than 50,000 U.S. soldiers in the region, aircraft carriers, destroyers, and refuelers prepared if military operations do resume. But it's the economic pressure that the Iranians are starting to really feel, according to intelligence officials that we've talked to in the region. And the president has shared a few graphs of this, looking at the inflation inside of Iran. Fox News is told that the issue is even worse than is being publicly described.
Of course it's worse than is being publicly described. Publicly, their state-owned media gets out there and says everything's fine. Their state-owned media says they're in control. Their state-owned media says we completely control this area of the world and nothing gets in or gets out. Yet here they are slashing their own oil exports. Why would they do that if they're in control? There's a logical inconsistency here.
All right, another element. I've seen people comment in my own channel like, yeah, Iran has their own state news. Okay, US have their own state news because Fox basically acts like it. Okay, I don't know what you mean. Is Fox more pro certain thing, biased? Sure. But that it's not a state news. It's not funded by White House. Okay, let's ignore technicalities. The point here is there are enough news outlets in USA like CNN, I don't know, NBC and other things, right? Like, I don't even know the other news that's very left wing. There are enough news channels out there who are digging. And if they find some corruption record or some like hiding under the rug type of record through military or something, they'll basically run out. Oh, New York Times or Trump administration lied to people. Things were really bad and they just lied. Oh, by the way, like this F-35 got shot down, they lied. They would easily dig through and tell people because in US they can tell people. There is nothing like that, right? Iran is not equivalent to that. You can't really compare US media with Iran media that way. Because if somebody finds something, they will basically come forward. It's money in the end. They'll make a lot of money. So in the end of the day, I'm more, I'm going to believe US more than I'm going to believe Iran news for obvious reason. All right, that's all the whole video. I skipped some of the parts, some of the reaction part from there. I didn't know this was a reaction channel. It's mix of it. He also shows news blogs and things. This is the best Iran information I could find for today. But yeah, there you go. I don't know, man. Like, this is slow poison. That's what this is. People think the worst thing is just point blank Hollywood style. Either this guy wins or either this guy wins. Street Fighter, this guy won. That's not how real life works. Real life is slow poison. The effects of now will be felt few months from now. And you need to let the dust settle. You won't know who won and who not. And anybody can carve out any propaganda they want. Like, see, Iran is winning because USA is still there. So that means Iran won. So all Iran has to do is just survive just enough or not claim defeat and they won. Is that the criteria? Okay, who set that criteria? USA did destroy all of that, most of the destroyers. USA did destroy a lot of bunkers with nuclear material in it. That is what they wanted. If anything, USA can walk away from here. It's like, yeah, we did most of the damage, and if they rebuild it, we'll come back again. USA can literally do that. What objectives they didn't achieve? But there you go, people. That was Iran's update so far. Trump presses the button. I don't know what button he pressed, but all right. If you like my reaction, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.